Welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. To those that might be new, we are the Light Renegades. We are a collective of Pleiadian beings bringing you information from the stratospheres that are ever expanding. We are disclosing cosmic secrets and hopefully bringing forward information to help you stand ever more in your sovereignty and in your power. That being said, if you're here for the first time and you wonder how I find myself channeling Chester Bennington, I would suggest starting at the beginning of this series, so this might make a little bit more sense to you. But I will say that we are getting as expansive as it comes with Chester's channelings. I was not expecting everything to take the turn that it did last night. I channeled 2 messages back to back super late last night. The energy was incredibly fragmented and starty, and Chester actually cut off at the end of the second channeling, and team said that they had to be in other spaces, and I was just told to come forward with what I have had. And I really struggled with Chester's channeling because it hasn't come full in full sentences and expressions. At times I really had to kind of go back and rework sentences framing. So I think that it's telling me a lot, but I'm going to share a little bit more about that at the end. But I did have quite a lot that I wanted to share for and to the collective right now, because I think that we are in a real pivotal time of expression and expanse, and I think many of you in the collective are coming to the points that you have come to in the past, with allowing yourself to truly believe what is happening to you in your life. And I realize that I've been sucked into a space that Chester found himself in often, and sometimes I'm in spaces where it's just incredibly confusing. There is a lot that happens within a singular day for me, and I don't remember a lot of it, and it comes back to me when I need it, and I haven't been a soul to document absolutely everything. And I'm starting to realize that I think that is with purpose, because if I was to try and hold on to everything that I experience in a day, multidimensionally wise and otherwise, I think that my vessel and my brain just couldn't quite take it, because somewhere I am still very human in my expression, but my expanse is just ever more reaching the points of infinity and beyond at this point. And I want to say that if you feel fragmented, if you feel fractured, if you feel like I don't know what is going on, I promise you that you will come to a state of clarity and you will find your space of peace. I realize that I've just been having to really surrender myself and my mind to this process at a deeper capacity than I've ever reached before, and for me to really just take ownership of what I'm capable of and what I'm experiencing. And I think so many of you here are in that expression too, and it's just been made ever more apparent to me that no one is going to tell you when it's the right time to step forward with what you have to share with others. You just have to trust that when you feel something, when you sense something, that you should be sharing it with those around you, and not to be afraid of what that means. I've definitely been a soul that's taken how do I want to word this? I've taken the brunt of my expression somewhere to sacrifice self for another, knowing that they needed to hear what I had to say, what teams had to say, whether it was to someone personally or someone that I know on the peripheral, and feeling the backlash of that, people thinking that I'm crazy somewhere or just not believing me. It has been thrown in my face time and time again. I've been ostracized in spaces, I've been demonized in some spaces, and I've just had to make that be okay, because I knew that I was moving from a space of authenticity and truth, and I knew that what I had to share was coming from a space of unconditional love above all else. And it really took me some time to truly understand that and see that about myself. And we all have shadow to work through. I've definitely learned some lessons the incredibly hard way, but I've really tried to make amends where I could in expressions where I was learning, because I don't want to say there was any wrong ways to do anything. It's all just expressions of learning, and this idea of just having ultimate compassion for self and those around us, I think, is something that I'm really having to come to terms with at such a deep level, and to really take a look around again at everything that I thought I knew to be a certain way, and start to see the layers of other people's expanse and their expression, and just what they're going through in their own personal spaces, and how that's impacted me and my life, and where we can both just see the learnings of that expression. So that's to whomever needs to hear it today. You're not wrong. No one else around you is necessarily wrong either. It's all just learning, and some things we choose, some things we don't, some things soul asks for that's incredibly painful, and you do just have to get through. And it's real difficult when you feel like you've just been fighting for the longest time. And I realized I was pushed into a corner to completely break me so that I didn't want to fight anymore. So that might be an expression for some too. Are you ready to just surrender rather than fight this path in this way, tooth and nail? Is it time for you to just say, hey, do you know what? Whatever has happened to me in my life, I'm now going to take ownership for myself and my feelings and my responses to others, and just come from a state of love, because I know that that's going to bring me the most amount of peace. But Chester's channeling took a massively wild turn that I just wasn't expecting from this soul last night. So I want to say, please come at this with an open mind. I'm going to share another channeling later in the week to give you some space to let everything sink in, and I want to say integrate with your own energy too. But we are hitting spaces of expanding into what happens when a soul, passes over, transitions into another space, another moment in time, another moment in ether, beyond the veil, whatever you want to call it. And I just wasn't expecting it to come through everyone. So please go easy, please go well, and please come at this when you feel like you have space to be integrating such an expansive point of view. But last night's channeling from Chester was titled Faith, and he started with, thank you all. It's been a trying few days for myself, seeing where I went wrong, so to speak. I gave them too much of my power, and when he says them, he means the negative reptilian order. If you don't know what that is, I would suggest pausing here and doing some personal research. Otherwise, I don't think this space is going to make much sense to you. But obviously, on an energetic level, you will pick up what you need to. I didn't know whom I was, giving it all to them, but in the end, I gave my power away nonetheless. I know so many of you have a million questions. I will say that I'm not here to gossip or to spread more upset. I'm here with information that I hope can help you all feel just how free you truly are. I've spoken to this one, just how much freedom she has as opposed to that which I did. Like I said, once you sign on the dotted line, they have you somewhere. I wasn't in full awareness of all that I was until I passed over, but I understand now. By not having incarnated so much prior to this lifetime, it meant that I could keep myself free somewhere. I was here to disclose truth. I wasn't aware like so many of you, which means in actual fact, you know more than I. You've overcome them time and time again, not just this lifetime, but so many. So call that power in, right now, call it in. At some points, I just wanted to fight the world. I wanted to tear it all down. But again, I'd lost my way. I'd lost myself to the pain. It was just too much for me to carry. I really struggled with addictions. They overcame me time and time again. This is why it's so important for so many of you to see just how well you are doing, just how remarkable you all are. I'm looking forward to coming back again to rewrite my time again and to help set so many others free. I think I don't have much more to share. I just wanted my truth out there, my words about my life out there, the words that I couldn't share in the past. Don't let my past and my passing become your future. You know enough, you know so much. Can that be confirmation for you to just find something new that you truly care about? What is it that you do care about? Mine was my family, the love I had for them like nothing I'd experienced before. My wife, a saint. My kids, I had a few, but we all got along. We came together, two families aligned by pain. It was a difficult time. We told our wives eventually, but we held off as long as we could, as we knew that what it could potentially mean for them. And by he means the two lives, he means that of Chris Cornell as well. They were very close friends, and they were entwined in an expression of the negative reptilian order, and they found out too much, is what I want to share. But please go back and watch the previous channelings. I'm not going to share too much right here and now because I think it's important to get the continuation of these videos, but I'm going to continue. We had no idea of the magnitude of all that was happening, just exactly who was involved, but you all know. It's all come to light right now. I wish there was more that I could have done, but when I tell you there was no way, there truly wasn't. I had nowhere else to turn. I just waited for it all. I knew something or someone was coming for me at some point. Even at the end, they didn't show their face. but I understood, sorry, even at the end, they didn't show their first face, but I understand how I was faced with another being. When interdimensional meets the real world, that's when everything just gets so fucked up. You can't tell what it is. The brain truly couldn't handle it. It's just a mess. Confusion. My dreams told me more than my waking life. I didn't know that I was being helped as much as I was until it was the end. I did see the light, the classic light that everyone sees. It came for me, but what came for me after was much more of a surprise to me. And apologies everyone, because I really feel Chester's like fragmented energy. When I'm channeling him, I very much feel him shift between even more of like a galactic energy to someone that is very much, you know, in pain somewhere still, someone that is fired up and ready to be incarnating again, and then just a space of wanting to share with us just so much in a very short space of time. And I think that the soul is very much ready to incarnate, you know, in days to come. It doesn't feel like it's a very long time away, which is why I think we have this very fragmented energy. And I was really taken aback by Chester's expression, because it's really helped me truly understand myself at a deeper level. And what I have to share in the next channeling completely blew my socks off, because I think somewhere I've still been questioning, you know, all of this, how my life has come to be in this point right now, because my whole expression just wasn't connected to what felt like any of this at certain points in my life. So have this be your confirmation if you are here, if you are newly awakened, if you are, you know, if you've been on this path for a really long time. Don't forget that sometimes we are sent right back to the beginning. You've all seen me sit here and say this to you time and time again if you've been here for such a long time, and I truly appreciate every single soul's energy here and your expression here, and you seeing your understanding and your compassion and your love and your light. You know, sometimes we grow to a layer of expanse that we think we've hit the pinnacle of peak understanding, and then we get sent right back to the beginning again. And you have to build up that energetic expression again. You have to build yourself back up to be to a space of where you can ground back into your new reality. And I think everything is just shifting at such a magnitude that it's very difficult to have a steady footing at some points in this journey. So you're not doing anything wrong is what I want to share. There were so many times behind the scenes where I'm just completely melting into non-existence, to the point where I feel like I'm, you know, gonna pass over, but you don't. You make it through to the next phase, the next stage, and it's all just learning, it's all just experience, it's all just stepping one foot in front of the other. What do you have to do in the present given time to make yourself feel stable? And I realized I need a lot more time to be in my own energy than I once had anticipated on my path. And, you know, setting up my scheduling for my day, there is a lot that we take on energetically, especially souls that are awake right now. We're doing so much for the collective. There is so much that is happening in dream time. So please do look out for your dreams as well. Like Chester said, he was getting a lot of help in his dream times. He wasn't entirely sure what was happening when he had incarnated. And the expression that I'm getting is that Chester really struggled with substance abuse. This was something that I've struggled with in my life, and this idea of not really knowing how to be in this world is definitely something that I resonate with. And Chester was a soul that hadn't incarnated that many times, so that meant that this negative reptilian order and hold couldn't have a stronger hold on him as others that were in his vicinity, even though he's signed on the dotted line somewhere in terms of a contract. I don't know how this works. I can't really make it make sense, but for some reason, you know, this soul was able to not be as sunken into that expression. And I think it was because they didn't have too much karma that they'd already built up somewhere. And I think we're getting pretty expansive in terms of the laws of what is happening right now. And that just completely boggles the mind. But I'm here for it. I like to just seek ultimate truth. But that's the impression that I was getting, is this idea of that the soul hadn't incarnated that much. So they was able to keep a layer of sovereignty somewhere that those around him perhaps hadn't been able to be in. And I feel like everything was very confusing for him a lot of the time, and that is definitely where I find myself most of the time. I've just gone through a massive upheaval of my energy, and I felt like I was just catapulted into a space of just so many realities at once that it was incredibly difficult to know just exactly what I was dealing with in any present given moment in time. And I was really just having to use my intuition to get me out of some tricky situations and scenarios is what I want to share. So if that message aligns for you, please do not hesitate to reach out. I will try and help as best as I can to help you divert any spaces that might be damaging to you somewhere. But I want to say that there is no wrong path. Everything is just learning and expression for soul to gain more knowledge. And I'm definitely a soul that sometimes jumps into things that I know is going to bring me the most amount of expanse rather than the most comfortable life. And that's something that I'm really having to take ownership of my own soul, is just how daring and, I want to say, adventurous my soul actually is. So sometimes I feel shocked as to why I found myself in certain situations, but then when I sink into soul, I think I'm not surprised at all, because this is what I seek time and time again. And I'm going to stop here because there is a continuation in the next channeling that I'm going to share that I think will help a lot of you out there actually sink into a space of peace and perhaps a little bit more understanding. But I'm going to say that it's going to take you trusting your intuition and the energy that you feel surrounding the next channeling, rather than letting the mental mind take over. So please go easy, please go well, please take that rest when you can, and be aware of I want to say physical triggers right now. I've been really struggling with my throat and my voice because I'm getting upgraded in that space, in the understanding. So don't be panicked by perhaps some extreme expressions that you might be experiencing in terms of a physical vessel. Please grab yourself some clear quartz, some hematite quartz, and also obsidian has helped me in terms of helping clear my physical vessel, and also bloodstones. So they might be crystals that you want to pick up to help you recalibrate your system and your physical vessel, because sometimes it's quite a lot when we're getting a lot of these expressions come forward in terms of expanse of our not physical body, but metaphysical expression. But that's all for myself today and Chester, and I'll be back real soon, but take care for now.